Okay, shalom, shalom, kwam yasha koholimla, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kahachadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to state the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yahana Nawah, just coming at you with another quick lesson and praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And this division in the Americas and mainly amongst these Edomites, because these are Democratic Edomites and Republican Edomites that's really clashing. You know, they throw you Negroes in there, you know what I'm saying, as the face of the bullshit, but really in reality, it's these Edomites on both sides of the aisle that's really has this infighting. But you do have Jake, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you know, Israelites that get involved when they shouldn't, because this is not their country. This is a prison for us, you know what I'm saying, and it's punishment for us that we were actually even sent to this nation. You know, so our people have to, let me grab a quick scripture real quick. Or let me read the title real fast. It says, Americans' pride in U.S. history and democracy drops, and fewer are proud to be American, polls finds. And this is in the Associated Press. But this is the scripture I want to get real fast. Micah 2:10. For you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you got to leave this place alone and let these so-called white people fight over what they stole and let them mangle each other. But we know that 2/3 of our people, you know, a lot of our people are going to get involved and they're going to get, it's all prophetic, man. A lot of people are about to be deleted, man, in this place. Once all this bread and circus wears down, you know, because that's not going to work too much more longer. It's only a matter of time before these people be like, fuck these games, you know, because people can't afford nothing here. You know, people can't, you know, you're seeing more and more videos of these people, you know, fighting back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And over, you know, not being able to do what they need to do. You know, they can't afford to do what they need to do, man. Okay, so this is Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword of destruction. So, Jake, got to wake up. This is not your rest. Let these so-called white people fight over what it is that they stole 250 years ago. Because the Lord is about to put them down, man. It is what it is, you know? So, let's go into a little bit of the article. So, it says, Americans have grown less proud of their country's history, or the way its democracy works over the past decade, according to a new AP NORC poll. Americans' pride in the U.S. on several key attributes has dropped since 2017, which is like 10 years ago almost, including the nation's military and its political influence around the globe. Because no one's liking America right now, and they used to be more liked back then. According to the survey from the Associated Press, NORC Center for Public Affairs Research. This poll was conducted in April as the United States and Iran fought over the Strait of Hormuz and a prolonged war that started with the U.S. and Israel launching strikes on Iran. New Gallup polling also finds that only 53% of U.S. adults are extremely or very proud to be an American, the lowest reading in the trend dating back to 2001. And that's pretty much half. So you got half and half almost. You know, you got a little over half that believe, you know, 53%, that's just 3% more over half. Right? So let's get Matthew. This division is real, man. I mean, the Lord is about to put these people against each other. Let's see here. Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. It's a lot. And it reads, Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So a house can't stand, man, if you're divided. I mean, that's just common sense. You know, you can't have a team and half the team is on this end, you know, wanting to do this, and the other half of the team is like, no, we don't want to do that. We want to do this. And there's, it's not a whole team that's put together. It's like, you can't win like that, especially if the other team is full-fledged 100% with one consent. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all, with moving as a unit. It's very important. It says, if Satan, verse 26, if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Right? So if they're divided against themselves, how are their kingdom going to stand? So let's go into a little bit more. And that's that, it's just really, that's what the Lord is bringing about. The Lord is about to put you Egyptians against you Egyptians, man. It says the findings point to a broad decline in patriotic sentiment over a tumultuous period that included most of President Donald Trump's first term, the COVID-19 pandemic, and rise in inflation that contributed to a backlash against President Joe Biden. That time frame also covers Trump's return to the White House, where he's taken more aggressive actions on immigration and in issues abroad. And he's been in there fucking up, basically. Much of the falling positivity comes from Democrats, who have become increasingly disenchanted with the country since Trump's first term. At the same time, most U.S. adults say that being an American is extremely or very important to their identity, highlighting an enduring connection, even as some become increasingly critical of the country's past or the government's current actions. So what's the country's past that they're talking about? That damn slavery, man. That's a big stain on America. Americans' pride, it says American pride declines on the armed forces and democracy. America's pride in the way democracy works in the U.S. has declined 14 percentage points, falling from 42% in February 2017 to 28% now. Yeah, that's a nice drop. In addition, America's pride in their armed forces has dropped 19 percentage points since 2017, and pride in the U.S. history has declined 14 percentage points. In each case, the drop is largely driven by Democrats, with some movement among independents as well. Carla Galdamez, a 48-year-old Democrat who used to teach U.S. history, believes America has regressed under the Trump administration. While the Californian is not proud of Trump, she is pleased with how far the U.S. has come in the 250 years. Well, this place has come where? What do you mean? What are you talking about? How far they've come? It's gotten worse. Here you go, 250 years, and you still on some shit like you in the 1600s. That's not good. If you mean your food has gotten worse, your water has gotten worse, your air quality has gotten worse. Everything has gotten worse for you. Your kids are out of control. Your food is expensive and it's fake. You can barely afford to live. Your insurance, car insurance, health insurance, whatever insurance, boat insurance, RV insurance, whatever damn insurance is expensive as fuck. You know what I'm saying? You can barely afford. So things have not gotten any better in 250 years. What has happened is they have pretty much made you lazy. These people are fat. They're obese. They don't want to do anything. If it wasn't for spell check on their phone, they wouldn't know how to fucking spell. They can't remember shit. They need a damn GPS to get around. So you've done nothing but made your citizens lazier, man. They don't know how to farm. They don't know how to fish. Now they're dependent upon a government that's giving them GMO foods. Like, come on, man. The list can go, we can go on and on and on with that list, man. Right? So let's see what else they say. So she was a history teacher. She says, it's a country that really wanted to be different and really wanted to be better. Well, your start with the way that you done the so-called Native American Indians, man, was harsh and brutal, savagery. The way that you done the so-called blacks when you brought them here, that's a part of your history. So what do you mean by better? Better for who? And have systematically destroyed the children of Israel, man. So you Edomites are going to pay for what you've done. Matter of fact, let me grab a scripture on that reaping what you've sown. Because you're going to reap what you've sown as a nation of people. You're not going to get around that. Galatians 6 and 7. And it reads, be not deceived. Let me read it in the Amplified. The Amplified kind of cut a little more. Do not be deceived. Yahweh is not mocked. He will not allow himself to be ridiculed, nor treated with contempt, nor allow his precepts to be scornfully set aside. And that's exactly what you Edomites have done. You have scornfully set aside the precepts or the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord while you're claiming to be this righteous people, man. You've used the scriptures, you know, to act as if you're the righteous, when in reality you've done nothing but wickedness with the Bible in your hand. Nothing but wickedness. You know that Psalms, I bring it out all the time. Psalms 50 and 16. What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldst take my covenant in thy mouth, since thou hatest my instructions? Salakia, since thou hatest instructions and castest my words behind thee. Roughly paraphrasing. What are you doing with the Bible? You don't keep anything in it, man, but you front like you're this righteous people. Okay? But it says, let me get that back from the top. Galatians 6 and 7 in the Amplified. Do not be deceived. Yahweh is not mocked. He will not allow himself to be ridiculed, nor treated with contempt, nor allow his precepts to be scornfully set aside. For whatsoever a man sows, this and this only is what he will reap. See? So Esau became a nation of people, and as a nation of people, see, the Lord, he deals with nations, and he deals with individual people within those nations. So let's get that in Job 34:29. When he giveth quiet, now this is talking about the Lord Yahweh, which the world calls the Most High. His name is Yahweh, which means that he exists, or the existing one, in the true name of our Lord and Savior, that's coming to get us out of the hands of our enemies. And for your, in your little 250th anniversary, you're gonna pay for what you've done to the children of Israel. You're gonna reap what you have sown against us, and you're gonna reap double. And that's a very scary thing, man, because what you've done to us, I can't even imagine how we're going to get y'all asses back. But guess what? We'll have new bodies with new strength. Law, statutes, and commandments will be written on our minds and our hearts. So we'll know exactly how to deal with you in all righteousness according to the scriptures. And it's not going to be a good thing for you people, because you're going to be in a carnal flesh, and we're going to have those spiritual bodies knowing pretty much all things, so to speak. Superpowers, man. And it's not going to be a good look for you. So, verse 29, again, Job 34 and 29, when the Lord, Yahweh, when he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Because that's what he done to us. He hid his face, so it was nothing we can do. But right now, hey, he's starting to visit the world which he made. Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only. See that? So the Lord, he deals with nations. He sets up nations. He brings those nations down. You can get that in Daniel 4:17. And we'll go back into some of the article. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the bases of men. So the Lord set up Esau. He set you sets up the nations and bring those nations down. Let me see. Let me get this one in Psalm. Let me see Psalm 75. Where is it at here? It's a precept. Yeah, a lot of precepts in that. This is Psalm 75 and 6. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But Yahweh is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. So he put us down. He set you Edomites up. But guess what? He's going to put you down and set us back up. And he has done that over and over and over again, man, throughout history with all kingdoms. So let's go back and see what else is in here, because this division is real, man. Okay, so only 14% Democrats and 28% of independents say they are extremely proud to be an American, according to the Gallup new poll, compared with 70% Republicans. The AP NORC poll found that Republicans are especially likely to be proud of the nation's armed forces. About 9 in 10 Republicans say the military makes them extremely or very proud, compared with about 6 to 10 U.S. adults. Samantha Folks, a 40-year-old in San Antonio, Texas, says she's proud to be an American and doesn't hide it. The Texas Republican showcases that pride with an American flag in her front yard, as well as Trump flags in the backyard. And she plans to wear red, white, and blue on the 4th of July. She comes from a military family, and while she believes the country's involvement in Iran is unnecessary, she remains a proud supporter of the military. Yeah, because they with that war. They don't give a fuck. Esau loves war. She might be an Edomite, or maybe not. I still support our troops no matter what they do, she says. Matt Stafford, a 39-year-old in Massachusetts, is proud of being an American, even if the U.S. political system frustrates him. He has a bald eagle tattooed on his back to represent the United States. Of course, that's some Edomite shit there. You know. It says, it's freedoms and all the things we're supposed to stand for as a country. But when people talking like that, that's you Edomites. You know what I'm saying? You Edomites have that freedom. That shit don't benefit Jake, right? So it says, but despite that national pride, he often finds himself frustrated by politicians on both sides. Stafford, a centrist who identifies as politically homeless, so he don't have no home base, wants Democrats and Republicans to come together to look out for their constituents in Middle America. Well, we just read Matthew 12 and 25. This place is separated, and it's not going to get back together. The only thing that's next for this place is the Egyptian against the Egyptian. Let's get that. That's it. You people fighting against each other. That's all that's next, man. There ain't gonna be no togetherness. Because even if, the Lord has that spirit in the air. Because they can have all the best barbecues together. They can get together, have drinks. They can get together and agree on everything. But it's really not gonna happen because the Lord has set up a standard in the earth where you people are gonna be against each other. The Lord caused that separation. He caused that division amongst you, man. Isaiah 19, start at verse 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians. And that's going off into you Babylonians, you Americans. You can be considered to be Egyptians too, because you have all the customs of the Egyptians. And the Egyptians, this is spiritually Egypt. The Egyptians actually had the Israelites in captivity back then, and you have the real Israelites in captivity right now. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans here. These are the real Israelites here, man. Right? So it says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. There you go. And that's Matthew 24. I think that's verse 7, where the Lord said that. Let's go into that. Kingdom against kingdom. That's one of the prophecies that he spoke of that would be happening in the end days, when the disciples asked him what would be happening before he comes. Yep, verse 7. It says, for a nation, Matthew 24 and 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Right? So these things are happening, man. That nation against nation, that kingdom against kingdom, that's going to happen here. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord has set it up for you Edomites to fight against each other. And like I said again, a lot of our people are going to get involved. They're going to try and get into it, being stupid as hell, because they lack knowledge, instead of just letting you so-called white people go ahead and fight it out yourself. But it's going to be a lot of bloodshed. It's going to be a lot of Edomite on Edomite bloodshed. Let me put it that way. So I don't want to keep this long. Let me see what else is in here. He says, I love America, but our biggest problem is how we're pushing both sides, like the left and the right, to the extremes. Yeah, because the Lord got that separation. Why aren't you just all together? I love America, but our biggest... Oh, okay. It says, for many Americans, their partisanship is often intertwined with their national identity. The poll finds that Republicans are much likelier than Democrats or independents to say being an American is extremely or very important to their personal identity. Yeah, because hey, they get the tax breaks, they get money. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that's kind of living, and they're leaving their other Edomites to fucking starve in them trailer parks, basically. Younger people are also much less likely than older people to say being an American is highly important to their personal identity. And that's where it matters, because your children is the ones that's going to take over. So you old ass baby boomers in your 70s and 80s, you people that's around Trump age, all that is about to die off. But you know, a lot of y'all gonna be alive though when shit hits the fans. You gonna be trying to pull out that old ass World War I rifle and trying to pick somebody off out of your fucking window. And you're gonna be getting ravaged, man. Your old ass wife, if she's still alive, she gonna get knocked over, frail as hell. You know, all that. It's about to be some Egyptian on Egyptian, neighbor against neighbor fighting, man. Right? Let me get that part back again. Younger people are also much less likely than older people to say being an American is highly important to their personal identity. About 3/4 of Americans ages 60 and older said being an American is highly important to them, compared with only about 1/3 of U.S. adults under 30. See that? They don't care. Race or ethnicity matters more to many black Americans, of course. The AP NORC survey found that the vast majority of black Americans, 73%, say their race or ethnicity is extremely or very important to how they see themselves, higher than the share that say that about being an American. Well, see, they don't even know their real ethnicity other than what the Israelites. See, if it weren't for the Israelites, they really wouldn't. A lot of them, or people really wouldn't know what's really happening. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what's their real nationality. Your real nationality is your Hebrew Israelites, man. You're not blacks. You're not Americans. You're not African Americans. You are Hebrew Israelites. But because you've been here so long, we're citizens, you know, of course, because we were born here. But you're not an African, you know, an actual American. The only way you can be an American is if you took part in your own slavery. If you took part in stealing this country. If you took part in hanging your damn selves. If you took part in castrating yourselves, if you took part in alligator bait, if you took part in making shoes out of nigga skin, you know, that would make you an American. Those are the real Americans. You know what I'm saying? Just is what it is. You know, you're not an American. So let's get a little bit more. It says, a lot of people are scared of black men just because we are black and we are male. We are not black. No one's the color of the backdrop of my screen on my phone. You know, that's a social construct as well. See, you don't even know your ethnicity. You don't even know that that's a color out of a crayon box. There's nowhere on the planet where you can get a ticket and fly to the world of black. You know, let me get my passport ready. I'm gonna get it stamped to black. No, it's not. No, you're not black, man. That's a social construct. It says, and that's crazy. I guess this guy's name is Harris. People don't even take you for who you are as a person. They just look at your race. Well, you don't even know your race. And that's something that Esau has done. He's really beating you down when it comes to that. It says, about half of Hispanic Americans say their race or ethnicity is highly important to them, compared to with 22% of white Americans. And they're actually, you know, they're prideful. They're proud to be Hispanic when you're not even Hispanic. They're proud of those titles that the so-called white man gave them. You wouldn't be Hispanic if the so-called white man didn't give you that title. You so-called blacks, you wouldn't be black if they didn't give you that title. You are Israelites. And it's funny that they're talking about, you know, Southern and Northern Kingdom right here. Because you so-called blacks, you are Southern Kingdom of Israel, or Judah, so to speak. And you Hispanics are Northern Kingdom, Israel. See? Blacks and Hispanics, adults, are also more likely than white adults to say their family ancestry or country of origin is highly important to their personal identity, but they don't even know where they're from. They don't even know that they're from Israel. They actually really think that, you know, the so-called black man, he thinks he's a goddamn African. You know, and these Hispanics, they think that they're, they think they're the same people as the conquistadors, the people that ruled over them and enslaved their asses, man. That chopped their asses up. You chopped their damn noses off and done all these different things if your ass didn't pick enough gold. Anyway, Harris, who identifies as a gay man. Oh, here we go. So you so-called black and gay. God damn, bro. Says being an American is a wonderful thing because of the freedoms that Americans have. Yeah, because you're free to self-destruct. You're free to get your asshole dug out by some dude. That's the only thing. America is a place. The only freedoms you have here is the freedom to self-destruct. You're free to overdrink yourself. You're free to overeat. You're free to go and be with another man's wife without any, or a woman stepping out on her husband without no consequences. You're free for all those things. You know what I'm saying? So that's what, that's why a lot of people try and come here. A lot of these people that these immigrants that come from these different countries, and I ain't just talking about, people of Israel, you know what I'm saying? I ain't just talking about immigrants as far as Latinos, Mexicans, Dominicans. I'm talking about, you got people that actually come from Muslim world that come all the way here to the Americas. They'll come from Iran or come from Iraq if they can get in here, or come from all these different countries if they can actually get in here, just so they can be a freak, just because they want to live out their gay life. Secretly undercover Muslim / peanut butter chaser. Come on, bro. This place is through, man. You Jake better wake up, man. You Jake better wake your fucking asses up, bro. Okay, so it goes on to say it's great to be an American regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, or whatever. Well, you got every religion in here when it's supposed to be a Christian nation. Sexual orientation, you got all kinds of, I don't even know, LGBT. It's so many damn, they add letters every damn year to that fucking list, man. You got all kinds of genders. I know, or what they saying. We know that it's 2 genders. But see, that's the freakinism. That's the freakism of you fucking Edomites that's here, and you Jake, you're following it behind this man. The scriptures clearly says to envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. You trying to be like him. Okay? It says, as long as you have that freedom of choice as an American, that's a great thing. Yep, freedom to self-destruct. Right now, I wouldn't live in any other country in the world. I'm here. I love it. And the reason why, because there's not too many countries. Where it's countries, if it's Edomite countries, you can go and live that same lifestyle. But here in the Americas, you have the, you can be a lot more, openly freaky. You can just be as freaky as you want. You can, Esau give you a slap on the wrist for sleeping with animals here. You can sleep with your damn dog. The only state here in America that still has openly bestiality where you don't get no charge at all is West Virginia. Just done a lesson on that. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the comment boards. You already know what it is on that. Just wanted to kind of scroll through some of this. I think we got the scriptures that we needed. Pretty much the lesson is done, so to speak. But yeah, man, it's a lot of division. You can look for a civil war in this place soon. Cause see, like I said again, all the bread and circus, that's not working anymore. People are really tired, man. People are not, the streets be empty, man, on these nice days now. You got people that, they going out here to this World Cup, and you got people that still doing stuff, but I noticed for a nice day in Detroit, niggas would be out here riding. They in their cars, tops down, whatever, you know what I'm saying? They done hit the hit the car wash, got the tires all armor all and all that good little shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And they're out driving. But you're not seeing a whole bunch of that. People are saving their gas, man. It's like, fuck that, man. I'm up shit. Cause gas here is still $4 a gallon, over $4. That's in the hood. Outside of the hood, out in the outskirts where Esau live, you know what I'm saying? They still over $4. Diesel is still up. See, they got this back and forth going on between, with this Strait of Hormuz bullshit. So people are struggling. The food is expensive as hell. These Edomites, they can't. This food, I'm telling you. Now in the hood, certain places we can go. You know what I'm saying? Where we can get a little more bang for the buck, so to speak. But if you live out in Edomiteville, if you live out where they live, you paying top dollar for everything. I know for a fact, because I do a little shopping in their area on my way home from the plantation. And I stop in stores that's in their area here and there to grab certain things. And that shit is expensive. So they're spending like real prices. Again, like I said, in the hood, Jake, it's all, I will say that, the Lord, he has set it up where Jake, even though we don't have a bunch, Jake don't, because they know that we don't have the finances really like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a people, we're not getting it like that. So of course you can't charge us the same shit that you charging a person that's getting it. You know what I'm saying? You can't, in an area that where they making six figures. Of course they gonna get 6-figure grocery prices. You got Jake in the hood. Jake making about 16, 13 to 16,000 a year. Now you doing the type of prices you gonna get. And I see Esau. Esau be easing in the hood. You know what I'm saying? They be easing into the hood, trying to get that little cheaper gas, little cheaper shit. You know what I'm saying? And then they ease on out into their neighborhoods. But a lot of these Edomites, man, they moving on into the city. They like, fuck that. Low key, they'll throw a big ass fence up around their shit. You won't even know Esau living next door to you. He living right in the hood, man, on way cheaper than he would be living in the burbs, man. But I'm gonna end out there. So I do pray that the lesson was edifying. Hey, continue on praying for the downfall of this place. Matter of fact, I can end out with that. Because that's what's happening. We're witnessing the fall of our enemies. Already there. Ecclesiasticus 25:7. And it reads, there be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And that's what we're witnessing, man. The fall of our enemy. Because you can't enjoy no children here. When we hit the kingdom, that's when we're going to be able to really fully enjoy our children. You can't enjoy no children and they're being raised in Edomite in a Edomite system or society, man. This man is a fucking savage. He doesn't care about anything but pleasing his fucking flesh. And if he likes little boys, he's gonna deal with little boys. He's a goddamn pedo. He's trying to grab your children up. You gotta, and then you gotta go to work 3, 4, 5 jobs that's just trying to take care of your children. Go to sleep. You barely even get to deal with them. You barely even get to chill with them. Anyway, I'm gonna end out there though. I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwam Yasha Allah and a Baba Bar.